I want to share a healing story of my own. My story was about getting on a motorcycle that I knew I wasn't going to come home on. And I like to think of this motorcycle as actually my initiation to a healthy life. This happened in 1975, and instead of returning on the motorcycle, I ended up in a hospital 30 miles away from my hometown. Other people have said to me, "You didn't listen to your intuition." But I disagree. My inner voice said, "You're not coming back on the motorcycle." It did not say, "Don't get on the motorcycle." I believe that was my intuition warning me to pay attention and get ready for what was coming. And as it turned out, we did have an accident, and it happened because we were on unfamiliar territory, on a road that went from a curve and into gravel at the same time. The driver, who was Ray, my boss at the time, did his best to try to steer the motorcycle through the corner without losing control. But we ended up hitting the guide and retaining cable and a post, and that was instead of going down a deep embankment. He broke his right hand and right bones in his right foot, and it was badly bruised along his right side. Me, I thought I was faring pretty well. My hands were okay, there was no blood, and my feet seemed to be okay and my legs seemed to be okay. That was until I tried to get up. My leg wouldn't bend, my knee wouldn't bend, and I felt down my leg and found out that something was wrong, deeply wrong with my knee. Just about that point, we were trying to decide what to do. Help came, thank goodness. And at the hospital, after the doctor had looked at the x-ray, he came to me and he said, "You have a very serious injury here. And what I'm going to do is put your knee back in location." It was, in fact, a dislocation. And he said he would do surgery on it after that. In that situation, after he did the surgery, and afterwards, I came out of the anesthesia and I realized I was in a cast from toe to hip. And I realized also that he had not done surgery, and that was interesting to me, because that must have meant that there was something seriously wrong, because there's no way he would want to maybe waste his time on a knee that wouldn't be right. That really made me understand he truly meant a serious injury. But fortunately, he hadn't given me any worst case scenarios to get my brain wrapped around. So as I laid in the hospital bed later that night, I decided I really needed to do something to really help my knee heal. And so what I decided to do was imagine blood flowing down my leg all the way to my toes. And as it did, I wanted to nourish my knee and to nourish my rest of my leg and even my toes. And then I visualized the blood coming back up my foot and my leg and my knee and all of that area, and taking all of the toxins and all of the byproducts from the injury out of my body and taking it where it could eliminate it. Every waking moment, I did this visualization. And it took until the fourth day that I actually had the courage to ask the orderly, who was continually checking my toes, "How do they look?" And he said, "They're pink, they're warm, they're normal." And I asked, "What would they look like if they weren't normal?" And he said, "Black." Relief swept over me, and I was glad. And the doctor later came in and suggested that maybe I should consider surgery, and gave me the options and gave me a little time to think about it. Well, I decided to have the surgery, and it went well. And then I was in a cast for 2 months. And when the cast came off, the doctor said, "You will now be ready for your extensive physical therapy." And just before that first physical therapy appointment, he also said something very important to me. He said, "I did my job, the rest is up to you." And that's when I truly realized I needed to really work on my physical therapy, and that I really wanted the full use of my leg. And So each visit to the doctor after that, I would ask him, when will I be able to run? Because that was my first goal when I started physical therapy. Eventually I was able to run. Then I reset my goal. And my next goal was to ski the American Birkebeiner race, a cross-country ski marathon that is over 50 kilometers long or 30 miles in length. It took me a year and a half to build the leg strength to do it, and I've been doing this ski race ever since. You might ask me why this accident was an initiation, but it truly was an initiation to my healthy life, because it was a result of this accident that I did a series of things to recover and really maintain my health. That's right, one of the very important things to do, it was that I really paid attention to my intuition, and it was my intuition that I really listened to throughout this experience. I also did some research to find out what to do to prevent arthritis, because the doctor said in a traumatic injury like this that it's very common to get arthritis. I discovered that vegetarians heal faster from injuries, and also they do better with having less incidence of arthritis. So I became a vegetarian. I also became and stayed committed to physical fitness and physical activity. I run, I cross-country ski, I canoe, I spend time in physical pursuits. I really do believe that this was my intuition helping me to navigate a very important situation of dealing with natural or the traditional medical processes that are available to me, and at the same time pay attention to my inner knowing and do something about it. After I was well healed, my doctor also told me two very important things to help me really understand the circumstances that I had faced. He said that he had had a colleague of his that had had the same similar injury as mine, a complete dislocation of the knee. And in that case, they had to amputate the person's leg. I was amazed. That I know that all that sending blood down to my knee and down to my toes and back up really made a difference. Second, he also told me about another patient that he had. And this was a young man in his late teens who was very physically active. And he had opted not to have surgery, though he too had had a complete dislocation of his knee. In his case, he had not recovered as I had done. And between those two things, the amputation of the one person and the not recovering from this not having surgery, made me really realize that I, in fact, had navigated a very narrow margin, all using my intuition. My motorcycle accident led me to a healthy life, a lifestyle of health, and that it has been a journey not only of health but also of healing. It taught me how to use my own wisdom and to maintain my health. I listened to my intuition and followed it. I used my inner mind to help me be healed and to encourage my healing. I also use my physical ability to regain strength and build new strength. I learned to eat healthy and stay physically fit. Yes, I surely believe that my motorcycle accident was about an initiation and a commitment to a lifelong lifestyle of health and well-being. Yes, my intuition did help me back then, and it continues to help me now. I really am extremely grateful for the fact that I could blend the medical profession and its traditional procedures and navigate my own intuition to find the right path for me. It truly was an initiation of a healthy life. And I am now a healer helping other people do these things for themselves. And you can get a hold of me by contacting me at Cheryl at goinggenius.com. Have a healthy life.